The Alfie Whattam podcast.
So first thing I want to show you is a vision which Uber has been working on for the next generation of transport, essentially. So Uber are going down the flying Uber route. So flying cars might now become a thing. We've been talking about it for a long time, and the vision may be realised. This is a piece of tech they've been working on for quite a while. They recently did a deal where it kind of acquired with a company which really specializes in like human-sized drones, helicopters. I'm not really sure what to describe it as really, but let me show you the vision they have, and then we'll have a quick chat about whether we think this is going to be a good thing, a bad thing, if it's going to come to reality, not come to reality, etc. Okay, so let's. If you are listening on audio, now's a good time to turn on the video as well. Pop into your Uber app, click the button, and then rather than the Ford Fiesta pulling up to pick you up, you need to, I'm assuming, walk to an area where they have these things. And it looks like a very, very futuristic helicopter type transport device where you pop in and you will fly to your destination. So this is a concept they've been working on for many years now, but a lot of people are starting to say in 2023 and beyond is when they might start to test these, might start to even see some of them in certain locations. And it kind of goes back to the old thing that, you know, we've been talking about flying cars for a long time. Are Uber going to be the ones that make it a reality? So that's flying Ubers to begin with, and a nice easy one to start with, right? Let's just go around and get your perspectives. Daniela, what do you think of this idea?
As a geek by virtue by trade, I would say I would love these becoming a reality. Yeah. But I can see the amount of hurdles they have to jump now.
Oh, yeah.
Because safety of the people at ground level.
Yeah.
Thinking about the routes they're going to take, they're going to start entering in the mindsets that normal flights have. There has to be lots of planning. Yeah. So there is, I would say, a few magnitudes of...
Oh, man, a few. There's a lot of, like, roadblocks, right, and things that need to happen. But I'm the same as you. I'm a geek, and I love the concept of it, at least. I could see you were nodding there, Damien, when you mentioned about regulation. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, as I said, I like the concept. And it just reminds me, I think some people aren't as young as I am, but I remember the Jetsons, and it just reminds me of watching the Jetsons and seeing these flying cars and so on, and it's really coming to reality. But I agree in terms of security and so on. You have to take that security first approach because this is the security of human life, and that's important that they get that part right. Yes. In the security side, having that security first approach, and of course the regulations around that. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame. So I think it's a great concept, but they just have to get it right. Yeah. Who is going to be liable for anything that happens? Yes. It's all based on vulnerabilities. Make sure there are no vulnerabilities that can introduce people to come in and break in and hack in. Yes. So that's very critical. So
that'll be a nightmare having your flying vehicle hacked as you fly towards a building.
Or glitching in midair.
Exactly.
Absolutely. What's your take on this, Haji, on flying Ubers? Do you what's your opinion? Think this is going to become a thing? Do you think it might just be a gimmick? What's your take?
I think there is lots of activity there, obviously. Using technology and lots of variants of these vehicles and controls, etc. I am all up for automation, but using technology to support human beings. I believe in the human moderation in place. So similar to Tesla cars, I see all of this technology as supporters of the actual drivers. Yeah. And I think we should have a pilot just in case something happens there, and manual intervention, an expert there. But most of big airplanes fly on their own, right, almost.
Sure, yeah.
And pilots are there at certain stages of the flight. Yeah. So lots of technology already supporting our lives, but human element should be there, I think, especially for safety of people, just in case something happens. Because technology is fragile.
Yeah.
So, for example, if a main computer is organizing the air traffic automatically, controlling all of those vehicles at flight, 100 vehicles, for example, if something happens to Wi-Fi towers or whatever mechanisms they use, what happens?
Yeah,
They should be
disaster.
autonomous somehow, not they shouldn't clash. Or what happens if one of the propellers is hit by a bird?
Yeah, which is
because
going to happen. I mean, like with enough of these in the air, I mean, it's bound to. Yeah.
I've seen a documentary about jets a long time ago, for example, when they attached two jet engines to just two engines on the wings of airplanes. But when something happens to one of the engines, they couldn't fly physically, and lots of pilots were like dead.
Yeah.
They had so many iterations, and they brought the engines together towards the center of the airplanes, etc. Lots of things going on. So if you have four propellers, like a drone, for example, if one of them fails, there's
the entire
major
thing.
Stability issue there.
Of course, man.
Lots of mathematics and physics going on there. It's not easy. Every millisecond, lots of computation is happening there.
Yeah.
We are operating in a fragile world, and I can't imagine what happens when a solar flare hits the Earth
something very bad, right?
Yeah.
I think we all are in agreement that this tech is really cool. It's innovative. It's exciting, but there's a million things that we need to get right before we start letting everybody use these around the city, as interesting as they may be. What about for getting people? Let's look at a use case of transporting goods. You know, do you think this could be beneficial for like Amazon doing deliveries, or maybe even like food deliveries? I mean, it seems like a lot of work, maybe a lot of cost to get your pizza delivered to you if it's in one of these things. But you know, having a ton of parcels fly to a remote location and then those go out and get delivered separately. Do you think there's a use case here aside from transportation, more with transport of goods, or do you think that is unrealistic? What do you think, Damien, to that?
No, I think it's a good concept.
Yeah.
Just thinking of Amazon on the number of deliveries that Amazon, as you say, you go to the warehouse and it distributes all over the place.
Yeah.
Imagine having thousands and thousands of these,
yeah, everywhere you look.
drones everywhere. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of managing the traffic will be, I guess, key in this area as well.
Sure.
I guess you have to kind of think about the cost and the logistics of everything that happens. But as time goes by, I think it will happen.
It raises the question: is this a helicopter or is it a drone? Because if it's like a helicopter plane, then you need the air traffic controller people, right, keeping track of everything that's happening. If it's a drone, I don't think there's someone keeping track of someone doing like drone photography. I mean, that probably doesn't have as a comprehensive database. But I mean, to me, this is more of a helicopter. It would be a pretty big drone. What's your take, Danielle, on like the transportation of goods and that concept?
Well, the first thing that comes to my head is you're moving from using an infrastructure that was built for a completely different vehicle.
Yeah.
Cars.
Yeah.
Or on wheels in general.
Sure.
To a situation where you can actually go from A to B.
Yeah.
Very efficiently, literally in a straight line.
As efficiently as possible, right? No traffic.
Then my first issue comes when you actually arrive upon A.
Yeah.
What if there's no place to land? Then what do? You lower a basket from...
Maybe. I think they're probably going to have designated drop-off spots. They're going to have to, aren't they? Like helipads and sort of things, right?
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
They would need to build infrastructure, just like Tesla built their own with the superchargers.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned there's a few magnitude of issues that we need to bear in mind beyond all the things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
How can we get these right so that it starts blending in with the life we live and eventually starting to provide benefits.
Yeah. With the helipads, that's a really interesting point, because if you're on the Uber app, you might not be able to pick your location. It might have like designated spots where you can fly to. If I want to go to, like it's like a tube, like with different stops along the way, perhaps that's the way, and then it will drop off. People will get out of it and it will keep flying on. Who knows? But, potentially the case. What do you think, Haji, about the idea of transporting goods? Do you see that as a possibility, or do you think this will be more people focused?
I think because the danger element won't be as crucial as, or safety element won't be as crucial as carrying people.
Yeah.
There may be accidents, but they won't be as important, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think I'm looking at from efficiency point of view. Sometimes I find it annoying that there is the danger or possibility of small earners will be losing lots of jobs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think someone with a bike or a minivan carrying not just one parcel for one person, but probably, let's say, a batch of 10, 20 parcels for a neighborhood is already doing a very good and cheap and efficient job.
Yeah.
I think for emergency services, it would be brilliant, I think, to carry something urgently to some village or somewhere who needs help, especially for medical purposes.
That's a great point. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you could use it to transport organs, blood, and emergency, even people, in emergency situations.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's great. They have the sirens. They go through the traffic. Most people move out the way, but this is what you said. It's point A to point B. It's a straight line, right? Yeah. Do you see that being a thing, Damien? Do you think medical intervention, that could be a great use case here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. There is a strong use case for that. Of course, getting that medical supplies, especially in places that are probably very difficult to get to as well.
Yeah.
I think there is definitely, something there, opportunities there that can be looked into.
Yeah. What about from your perspective? Would you disagree, agree? What's your take?
Well, I think we have lots of potential. The problem is where is gonna Uber focus on?
Yeah.
What is gonna be their primary sort of sector?
Yeah.
And based on their current market, would probably be beside people transportation, goods being again a very plausible.
Yeah, they have
option.
Uber Eats, don't they? So it's groceries, it's food, but the next step is Uber Health, maybe.
Yeah, there would be something that would immediately land an impact on everyone. But I'm thinking one probably very profitable and at this point in time actually feasible market could be the luxury transportation.
Yeah.
So
of course.
people moving away from private jets because with Uber drones they can go wherever they want. And then if you consider what kind of range these vehicles might have, we are looking at even city-to-city transportation.
Yeah, and you're right, it probably will start as a rich person thing, right? I mean, like, I don't see the average person using this 5 times, a week to get to work and back. It's probably going to be more wealthy individuals. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, the price always comes down. I mean, cars were expensive to begin with, and then now no one's got a horse and a wagon anymore, have they? I mean, now everybody's got a car. So you all have raised the billion trillion dollar question, which is like governments, like are they gonna go for this? Because of you've all mentioned in some form about safety, about what if this crashes, I mean, you could make the same argument about a helicopter, about a plane, right? But I guess the trade-off is, will governments go for it because of the efficiency, the innovation, or are they going to be held back and not press the button because of the fear of public safety risks and that sort of thing, right? If you guys had to kind of, I suppose, bet, we'll see these in 10 years, or no, we won't see them in 10 years, just a guesstimate, what would your prediction be? Do you want to start us off, Haji?
I think regulations and infrastructure is key blockers, I guess.
Yeah.
Similar to electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Now, maybe in 10 years, we have many more stations.
Yes.
So that maybe you can safely plan a journey to Cornwall.
It's a problem, isn't it?
10 years ago, you couldn't do that.
No.
And if you watch Top Gear, they had really funny episodes around these things. So I'm a bit skeptical, but maybe 20 years. I would say.
Okay, so you think it will be here, but it might be a little bit longer than a decade or so. Okay, what would your take be, Damien?
I think about 10 years.
Yeah.
The technology is here. As you said, it's just really the regulations and how is it going to really work? I guess putting those legislations, governments have to put those legislations in place. As you said, infrastructure as well. Drop-off points.
It'll be expensive, right? So
it's going to be expensive.
Will the government fund this? Will it be private sector? Who knows? Will it be both? I mean,
I think the private sector may have to drive this one a bit.
Yeah.
If they can see, I guess, value in it, or
they can make money.
Benefit, they can make money pretty much from it.
Yeah.
It's how that's going to play out, how that's going to work. How expensive the infrastructure is going to be. It has to make sense.
Yeah.
And I think it probably will eventually happen.
Yeah.
I would say about 10 years.
Okay.
Things are moving so quickly nowadays.
There's a law of accelerating returns. More happens in a week than did a year.
Absolutely. So,
look at ChatGPT and DALL-E and you're like, whoa, what's just happened?
Exactly. So, I mean, even with ChatGPT and so on, where that is like,
like
staggering just to know what you can do with that. So, I think, the technology is here already. We have the ability to do it. But it's just a matter of, I guess, legislation catching up and as well.
Yeah, we can do the tech. It's just the people, the politics that needs to get into.
Absolutely.
Like with anything, really. I mean, our problems today are not technological. They're social. They're political, aren't they? And we probably have enough tech to feed, clothe, and provide for every human on the planet. It's like the politicians that get in the way and that sort of thing. What do you think, Daniela? Do you think we're going to be flying around in Ubers anytime soon, or do you think it's more of a long term or a gimmick and a never thing?
I think that what we're seeing with other type of markets we've seen growing recently.
Yeah,
Uber being the pioneer, and then many other companies are following. Then what we've seen with electric scooters as well. They might be the inception of these, and then as soon as the market pans out, we're gonna see a lot of pressure on regulation. So that is gonna probably cause a bit of an acceleration in the push that we see from regulators into allowing this to happen. We know eventually it's gonna happen. All the things that we dreamed and watched in sci-fi.
That'll happen. It's innovation. Yeah, you can't stop it.
It's just those ideas are good. The gut feeling is they would work.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we make it right. Regulations are in place for that to happen.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody's going to bring them all the good answers.
Yeah.
And, is in their own interest at the end of the day. Uber has faced many issues with all sort of security. We've seen how they sort of fought back and played along with the City of London as well.
Yes, that was a huge thing here. It was banned for a while, wasn't it? I think Sadiq said no more Uber, and it's here now again. So,
at some point, it's going to be a market that is going to push so hard that we can't stop it.
Yeah, the electronic scooter thing is like a very good comparison because they went on the road before there was like any like legislation around it. People were just whizzing by at like 30 miles per hour and on like an e-bike, and now it took a while for governments to catch up. I feel like when it's flying, it might be a little bit different. Like you can't have like flying vehicles and then go, we should probably put some laws around this stuff, shouldn't we? They might need to work a little bit closer, but like the e-bikes is a good example that tech always is faster than the public sector when it comes to this sort of thing. So interesting. Okay. All right, that's flying Ubers. Who knows what's going to happen, but I think one thing is for certain, it will come. Let's just see what version of it happens after the politicians get involved. Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you want to see more like this, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.